All right, y'all, welcome to another episode on Project Nine Oaks. I am headed over to the camper to get started on some projects. It's a little cold today, wearing a jacket, mid-50s in South Georgia, it's jacket weather. I'm going to be working on the back wall of the camper today. I think I've showed it in a previous episode, but the framing around that back window is pretty rotten and it needs to be replaced. Also, that back window just needs a little bit of TLC. So in this episode, what I'm going to do is going to be removing that back window, going to grease it up, kind of put some new gaskets on it, and then I'm going to be working on the framing. Probably going to focus a lot on the window versus the framing itself. I think you've seen that before. It's kind of self-explanatory. So anyway, if you would like this video, and let's get going. All right, we're back in the back wall of the camper, and I've shown you this before, but as you can see, this is basically not even there anymore, not really doing any support. It's all pretty loose. So my plan is to take all this out. The bottom is just as bad, well, maybe not quite as bad, and then we're gonna go in the closet here where that kind of where that wood continues over, and it doesn't even make it to the end. So we're gonna be replacing this, probably replacing the bottom piece. I'm going to take the rest of this insulation out so I can get back in there, and the plan is to just butt it up against the side here and then screw it in. Same on the bottom, and then on this side my plan is to do the same. I'm either going to go all the way to the end, or I may just kind of scab onto it and kind of cut it at an angle, glue it and screw it together, and then maybe put some strips on top and bottom. Something like that. I don't know if I want to get into all this stuff on the end, but anyway, we'll see. So first step is to take this window off, and we'll get going on that next. That should be the last one. Let's see if it comes out. Yep. Well, I finished with the framing, and I wanted to show you this before I get on the window project, but I was able to get this top bar piece. It's screwed into the framing over there. It comes behind this wall, separation, and it's just, butt jointed here with some pocket screws. This is not the best joint, but it's a whole lot better than what it used to be. I'm shaking it now. It's not really moving much. I may put some metal strapping over the top and bottom of this to really secure it well, but I'll probably think about that before I do put the insulation in. So after putting those pocket screws, and if you don't have that tool, it's a Craig like pocket hole, like kind of jig, and I'll probably have a link to it in the description below, but it is a really useful tool, and I've used it a lot on projects around here. So now that I have the upper part in, I put in the bottom, and this one went all the way from right to left and behind this partition wall and all the way to the other side. So the problem with that is that it wouldn't fit unless I took the skin off the outside. So what I did was I cut it you can't really see, but I cut it there in the middle behind this partition wall and screwed them together after I put it in, and then actually screwed it. Luckily this window is right here, and I was able to screw them from the outside into this partition wall, and it made it nice and secure. So that's secured all the way to the end, and then I put a notch in there for the wires to kind of poke through, not get pinched, and then put these uprights. Then on the outside, once this was all together on the outside, I put some staples in so it would secure the tin to the framing. And I had to kind of, I was having issues where the staples, or they're 3/4 inch long staples, were just punching through the tin. So what I ended up doing was having to, you probably saw me there in that clip I'm going to have, is I had to like mess with the regulator pressure, and it's about 50 psi, 45, 50 psi is what's needed, so it wouldn't punch through the tin and you know, not actually secure it. So once I got that done, now the framing is all done. It's about the end of the day, and so I'm gonna put some kind of plastic over this, tape it up, and you know, get it prepared. It looks like it might rain, so gonna prepare this so it doesn't have water coming in. Then I'm gonna get started on the window, and I'll show you how I'm gonna do that, and then we'll get that one installed once everything is all cleaned up. So let's go work on this window. All right, so I got the window back here in the barn here to work on it, and I'm going to take this apart so I can get better access to a lot of the little nooks and crannies here. When you have it off the trailer, it actually looks a lot worse than it is really. You kind of set it here on the bench, you can see all the imperfections, but it really just needs a good cleanup. Going to, you know, take all the gunk off, all the butyl tape off the back. It actually has some dirt daubers in here, you know, have a little nest in it. But going to take that off, all of the old gaskets off. They just kind of slide in these grooves underneath the window, and so they're seen better days. And so first what I'm going to do is take the actual like window part off. So this is the these two, you know, window panes. Take them off. There's just 2 screws on each side. So we're going to take those off. Both windows, and then there's screws on the top and bottom here and on the other side. You take those off and kind of the frame just kind of comes apart. So that's really it for taking the frame and window apart. Then you have each little section and you can focus down on each one. So I'm going to go ahead and start doing that. Alright, well, I don't know what happened there, but the camera didn't get the last little bit of putting the window back onto the camper. So just kind of recap of what I did. So sorry about that. What I ended up doing was putting some butyl tape around the window here, and ended up doing 2 layers kind of around the top edge here, just so it really had a good squish factor, I guess you'd call it. You know, when it got cinched down with the screws, it would kind of like ooze out. So made sure I had a good connection there. So, you know, put butyl tape around it, you know, push the window back up, and then just put some, I think they're 1.25 inch long roofing screws. So put them back in the same holes that the screws came out of. So not much to it, you're just putting it back on, just kind of the reverse of taking it off. So sorry about that, didn't get to see this bit getting put back on, but I'll do better next time with the camera. But anyway, just to kind of summarize, we were able to clean up the framing on the back. We were able to clean up the window, take it apart, clean it up with some steel wool, kind of that medium grit steel wool, and then you know, put it back together, kind of reverse of what taking it apart, just, you know, maybe 8 or 12 screws, and then putting it back on the camper. So I appreciate you sticking around for this video. Another one back on the camper, and I hope this one helped you out for your window project. And then stay tuned for the next couple videos I got coming up. Thank you.